What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast. Man, I've had a rough couple of weeks. Not rough like bad, rough like too much going on. You know what I mean? Between the IMS show, friends coming to town, Easy Rider show headed down to Austin, and all the fun shit me and my dudes had down there. We had a great time. And then, you know, these last 2 days of the Tucker show here in Fort Worth, Texas. So it's been a lot of shit, man. A lot of obligations and stuff. So still happy we were able to, you know, this is the 5th podcast we released this month. So that's always good to get, you know, some high numbers of podcasts released every month. But yeah, man, it's been a tough one. Just, you know, keeping up with the motorcycle stuff. So we're doing good though. We're making it. But yeah, this week, my buddy Jason Hallman, you've heard him before, the Speed Metal Built, Hell on Wheels Garage podcast. He's got too many names on it. Finally got to meet him in person again. I met him in Sturgis a couple years ago, and he came to Dallas for the Tucker show, and we hung out. And I gotta say, this dude's fun. He is fun and funny as shit. I don't know why he's not a stand-up comedian. Last night at the Tucker dinner party thing, he had our table rolling. So. But anyway, we got him on the podcast again, just kind of catching up on some things, and, you know, no real targeted, you know, topics, just kind of shooting the shit. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But first, I want you guys to, you know, take a minute to check out our sponsors. You know, as always, D&D Exhaust. You can check them out at dndexhaust.com, as well as DND Exhaust on Instagram. You can always phone in and order at 844-DND Pipe, as well as you can also order the pipes online at the .com part. Also, you can put in Fast Life for a 5% off of your purchase, your complete total there. You can do that over the phone or on their website. So check them out. Highest quality parts, highest quality exhaust made in the United States. Rusty's a great dude. You can always refer back to the podcast we did with him, and really good one, really informative, and lots of great product knowledge, not just on exhaust systems, but performance stuff. So you can always resort back to that if you haven't heard it already. If you haven't, or if you have, we'll definitely be having Rusty on again soon. So he's a good friend, great shop, big time rider. And that's something I love about people that in this industry, is the ones that get out and do shit on motorcycles. So check them out again, dndexhaust.com, as well as DND Exhaust on Instagram, 844-DND Pipe. Yeah. I also want to thank my buddy Mark, Texas Performance MC. You can check him out on Instagram, as well as .com on the end of that. You can always go to his shop, Cedar Park, Texas, get some dyno tuning, performance parts, service work, maintenance, same shit I know. Just, you know, you can just check him out. Make it a trip. Make it, if you're here in Texas and you want to go ride one of the nicest roads in Texas, 1431, it's right by his shop, and you can stop in, say hi, see his shop, see what he does, maybe schedule some appointment to do some work. Let him know you heard about him on the podcast, and then you can go rip that road to Marble Falls and have a good time. So check him out, TexasPerformanceMC.com. I also want to thank Paint Huffer. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram is painthuffer.com. As always, you know, you can go on painthuffer.com and get flakes, pearls, tapes, all the good shit that us custom painters need to stay relevant in the paint industry, I guess. Or, you know, you can just go on the Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and check out a lot of really talented artists, really talented people in the industry, putting out some amazing work, all different types of styles and whatnot. Also, I believe that, you know, Paint Huffer is going to be doing a booth at Born Free, which is going to, I don't know if we're going to be a part of it, but we're definitely going to be there, and we're definitely going to be doing a lot of shit as far as like bringing a lot of heat from Texas. So you Californians get ready. Anyway, check them out, painthuffer.com, Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram. I also want to thank our new sponsor. You heard about him. He's a big name in the performance bagger movement. Dale over at MJK Performance, man. You can check them out on Instagram as MJK space performance, as well as mjkperformance.com. They also just launched a new page that's going to focus more on their budgeted bagger parts and stuff like that. So you can check them out at MJK Bagger Parts. obviously they're Canadians. Don't fault that against them. They're good guys up there, but they're up there in Calgary, Alberta. Or Alberta. I don't know how you say it up there. Is it Calgary in Alberta in Canada? I'm not sure how that works, But anyway, we did a podcast with him as well, and you can hear his enthusiasm, his passion for the motorcycle industry, and he's just trying to bring some real heat to our industry with very high quality products, very high quality, precision parts that he puts to the test. He's a hard, good, badass rider. I don't know what the right word to use, but he can ride, and he makes parts that make that more easy for him to do that. So it's definitely going to make you be able to do that as well. I guess maybe, or maybe you'll just look really fucking badass. So I think that's the bigger point, right? But yeah, their parts are badass, man. Check them out. Give them a follow. I think they're in drag as well. I know they're in drag as well. So you can still get them from any of your local shops across the country. They have a lot of a nice quality, or a nice line of products that you can pick up through drag or go direct to them. So check them out. MJK Performance. Yeah. But yeah, my buddy Jason, man, that's who we got on the podcast today. And not sure if this is going to be the last podcast or not. It may be. It may not be. We'll see. But anyway, still going on. Check out the Patreon. Go to our website, fastlifegarage.com. Click on that Patreon link and just, $1. That's all it takes. $1 from each of you. And, I'm going, oh, man, I'm going to go buy all kinds of shit. I'm just playing with you. No, but for real, it'll really help go push this podcast. I'm actually in the moment right now trying to schedule a flight to NorCal I got West Coast T-Bars ready to do the podcast. I got Joseph Gerardo ready to come back on. I got Nick Henzo ready to come back on. And I got 4 or 5 other people right now ready to come back on. So as soon as this new month comes, I'm going to try to book a flight up there and just bring a lot of great podcasts in person from a lot of really badass people. So don't forget to check out the Patreon. Like I said, it's really is the lifeline of this podcast, as well as linking up and talking with our sponsors if you're ever interested in any of the stuff that they offer. So check that out. Also, at the end of this month, or the first podcast of next month, we will be giving away these 14-inch MX T-bars. Courtesy of 4130 Chassis Works. So give him a follow on Instagram. He's a great dude. He's becoming a great friend, hanging out. Very talented fabricator, and makes some really high quality parts. We're probably going to be running his bars on our project bagger that we're going to be diving into here next month. So check him out. Get ready to win some bars. All you got to do is go on our Patreon, donate $1. Or $5, or whatever you feel like doing. You don't have to do anything large. I mean, we've had guys out there doing $50 a month. That's awesome, but it's not necessary, man. Just a couple dollars consistently. You know what I mean? It helps out. So check it out. Also, this podcast, man, check this out. And I guess you're about to. So here you go.
Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
Figure it out as we go. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, we're rolling.
We're rolling?
Yeah.
Adam Garley has left the building.
He didn't want to hang out with us today, so screw that guy.
We cast a pretty big wake.
We told him to scram.
Do you need money or something?
Yeah.
Scram.
You need some money or something, dude? It's so funny how quickly sayings become something in my little circle of friends. We were all staying, and we were in Easy Riders this weekend. We were staying in this, we were jam packed into this 1-bedroom apartment condo rental
villa
thing. Yeah, villa. Yeah. And so the couch had a pull out, so it was 3 or 4 dudes laying next to each other and sardines on this couch. And we got so fucked up that night. And then it's Sunday. I know we got to leave, right?
Right.
So I know it's late. It's got to be late. You know when you oversleep and it's man, I should be waking up because I know that we got to get out of here any minute.
Yeah, your conscience is tapping yourself on the shoulder saying.
But I'm still falling in and out of sleep, and then nobody's moving in the house, right? It's just a fucking still. And then I hear the housekeeping thing goes on, and I just kind of sit up like Undertaker when he fucking just kind of does a sit up there, and looks, and I go, like that real loud, and everybody just was doing that the rest of the night. So it was so funny how we came up with like I was telling you earlier, hey, you need some money or something? Because all the homeless people were walking up to us, and our buddy Kyle threw a hamburger at this dude and said, "You need some money or something?" And then that was a saying for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, the catchphrases.
Yeah,
the movie sound drops. That's where we get them from at our shop. Like somebody will say something. I hadn't heard. There was a movie that I hadn't seen that had Jeremy Piven and Will Ferrell, and it was about a used car kind of deal. And so
that's selling the goods or something.
The goods, yeah. So there was a couple of catchphrases in there that Shane and Shannon were going back and forth on because they had seen that movie. So I'm like, I go home that night and I'm watching on Amazon Prime and I'm trying to remember, it was not that great of a movie, but the story surrounding the catchphrase ended up when you come into work the next day and you're like quoting shit. And I don't even remember any of the quotes really from that movie, but I have my own, all the Ace Ventura movies.
Oh yeah.
The Breakfast Club. Excuse me, sir. Why would anybody want to steal a screw?
we usually do like Talladega Nights and Step Brothers and another one that's popular amongst my friends is the Kenny Powers stuff and all that shit.
The Eastbound and Down,
Eastbound and Down, yeah.
It just the level of content that's on the interwebs. I've seen like a half an episode of Eastbound and Down, and the reason why I haven't seen all of them is because I've made a commitment to. I'm going to watch that, but I'm going to binge that from front to back. I'm like my catchphrases that we use the most from work are from like Step Brothers. Was did you touch my drum set? Like I'll just if somebody touches my shit at work, I'm like, hey, did you touch my drum set?
Yeah.
No. Why are you all sweaty? I'm watching Cops.
Exactly.
Cops doesn't come on until 6 or whatever. I mean, I don't know what it is.
That's what it is.
Complaining all that, but I mean that's one of my favorite things to do in the world.
I remember me and my homie from NorCal, Steve. We were driving up to Reno, Street Vibes, right? And like driving through the mountains there, going from like Lodi, Stockton across there. And this is kind of close when we first started hanging out. So like, we were just shooting the shit kind of, and then we started quoting Step Brothers. And they were like, we were going to meet up with John Shope. He was going to hang out with us and we were going to kind of take him to Carson City back and forth. And I don't remember if it was I that said it or he said it, but we were talking about John Shope, and then one of us is like, I'm not going to call him Dad. And it was just like the perfect setting because this was right when that Phoenix biker battlegrounds was going on and all these things. Like he was like larger than life as far as in the motorcycle scene. Didn't he like end up winning getting like an award at Sturgis for like?
I think I don't know. I'm not in the. Okay, so I'm not in that. I'm not in the cool club.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have the best friends, but I don't know that he is or isn't in whatever. I know he's not. I don't think he's a hamster. But
he's not a hamster. But I think he got like an award, like a. I feel like he got awarded like a Hall of Fame.
They have a Sturgis Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I haven't been to it. I don't know if it exists like as far as like a piece of real estate or if it's just kind of in the ether. But I can remember. I know exactly where I was the first time I ever saw John Shope, and I know he's been doing this a long time.
Yeah, he was in the chopper ship before the baggers.
Exactly, but he was the first guy that I took notice of. It was at Sturgis in 2008. I was at is the Buffalo Chip the one that has the stage where Kid Rock will play and Bad Company?
Yeah, Buffalo Chip's pretty big.
That's where Lichter's exhibit is, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So we were at the. I know it's not Full Throttle. That's Michael Ballard's place, right?
Yeah.
So no, it was the Chip. So we were at the Chip, and there was a Baker bike show of some sort that was at that time. I still was owner of JR Cycle Works, and we were working for Baker Drivetrain. That was the first event we had ever done where we did the installs. It was 2008, and we went to this Baker show, and John Shope rolled up on a big wheel bagger that had some crazy exhaust with flamethrowers, and I want to say the exhaust at the front of the bike.
It had to be like my hands down favorite bagger he ever built was the first one. I think it was called Dirty Money, and it was all white. Had like the exhaust going to the front, and he had like cheetah print in the bag for the liners and shit. It was just like a sick ass like chopper affliction looking bagger,
And so I think that's as good a place as any to start when we talk about. I know that I get a lot of shit for casting bagger stuff in a negative light, and I know that you've gotten your fair share of criticism over that too. But it's not that I don't like them as motorcycles. It's not going to be the first bike that I pick. I mean, if I pick a motorcycle, it's generally going to be a rigid chopper, or I've always been into FXRs and Dynas, and to be honest with you, and I don't care what anybody thinks of this, I think a Sportster is a fantastic motorcycle.
Yeah,
probably one of the most venerable bikes that Harley's ever built. Probably one of the. I mean, they take more punishment than anything. And if you don't, go fuck yourself if you don't like Sportsters. If you don't like a Sportster and I ask you why, and you don't have a really good reason, then you haven't thought it through. You just think it's a girl's bike.
Well, I think a lot of us have ridden or owned a Sportster at some point in time. So there's a little. Put it like this: the Sportster thing is just the funny thing to bag on. You know what I mean?
It's the easy thing to bag on.
It's the easy thing to bag on. So, likewise, the bagger, when you dress a certain way and you ride a certain bike and you act a certain way on it, you make yourself an easier target than the guy that's
chilling. That's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We should probably put a sign on that door. That's kind of what I mean when I'm saying
Grandmama, no. That was Grandma's voice. No, actually, that was not Grandma's. That was Dave Chappelle whenever his grandma was getting turned out by the holla, 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 holla. God, and the dude was like jerking off in the bathroom.
In the Chappelle show?
On the Chappelle show, and his grandma comes and goes, Grandmama, no.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I know Grandma's Boy pretty much from bookend to bookend. I don't remember that. I was being lighted.
Anyway.
It's some of the people that, but the chopper, some of the people that rode the bagger thing, I think they were not genuine. Like, I had a good conversation with a guy that I built a big wheel bagger for, that one of the, hands down, one of the best customers I've ever had. Yeah. One of the best friends I've made through working with somebody on a project. The guy named Kyle that had the Hustler, the black Hustler that ended up getting painted green. He told me one time, he's like, I get it. We're not bikers. We're not into it like you are. We're not into the same things you are. I mean, and so he got why I was critical of that. And I'm critical of anybody that's not genuine.
Yeah.
Or they're not in it for the right reasons. I mean, I don't think people should wear flip-flops when they ride a fucking motorcycle. I think if you wear flip-flops and you ride a fucking motorcycle, you should Google flip-flop motorcycle and fucking look at those pictures. I mean, it's not like showing somebody who smokes a pack of cigarettes a day a black lung that happens in 40 years. I mean, this is in a split second. It's going to change your fucking life, and you might not be able to walk anymore, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but the same thing happened with choppers. The same thing, man. If you go back to 2004, 2005, when you could pick any number, pick a brand, Big Dog, Texas Iron Horse, any of the popular brands, it was Affliction jeans, Affliction t-shirts, too much jewelry, too many wallet chains, sneak. You know what I mean? It was a clown show.
It was, and that's, I guess the stupid part of it is, or here's what I like to do. I don't like to, more or less tell one person over another how, like, I realize that I don't have the authority to say you're not biker enough or you're not this enough, right? But I can make fun of you.
I was just going to say, dude, we will clown hard.
And that's the thing. It's like, dude, you got to be able to, because my homies clown on me. You know what I mean? And I clown back. And the problem is that sometimes, in certain groups, they can't take the clowning, man. They get butthurt. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't be friends with those people.
Yes, I do. Like, perfect example. My buddy FXR Mike and Garley. They clown the performance bagger scene and the fucking, Dyna Bro stuff all the time. And it's funny to me because it's true. Just like some of the Sportster jokes are true and some of the big wheel bagger jokes are true.
But people try to say don't stereotype or, dude, stereotypes are to some degree.
Ramjet finally called.
There's some. Do you need to call him?
No, we're good. Go ahead.
There's some truth in every stereotype. It came from something, right? I mean, call it what it is.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
If I can't clown on you, we're not friends. Fuck off.
So what do you? I guess
seriously, I'm not even trying to be a fucking dick about it. Yeah. But I expect you to clown on me. If I come down wearing something, you're like, hey.
Well, eventually, if I got no comebacks, you'll probably calm down if you're not drinking. Like, I'm not a bully, you know what I mean? So, like, if we're going out somewhere and you do some funny shit, that's going to be the new joke of the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need it.
If you, we have a close homeboy that, like, rides with, like, you ever seen those, like, moccasin shoes? Like, some moccasins, like some Indian-made moccasins.
Okay.
So, he has a pair of those, but they're, like, house shoes with the fur hanging out. Our buddy Saxon rides a Sportster and rocks those things everywhere he goes. And it's kind of fucking funny. And we clown him, and he laughs with us, and he's like, you know, he has comebacks, and it works. I mean, yes, he could fuck himself up pretty hardcore, but at the same time, still pretty funny.
Dude,
and
if you got hit by a car or something, you ever see anybody get hit by a car?
I've seen people hit cars. It's funny as hell.
Dude, I saw when we were I was coming from school. I'll never forget this. I remember the kid and everything. Kid named William Lockhart was running across the street and got hit by a car, and fucking cartwheels and 2 Reeboks go pew, pew, in 2 directions. So every time that's all I picture is somebody getting hit. But I can picture those moccasins getting.
Oh yeah, they're not even gonna come off the bike. They'll be sticking to the bear trap pegs before anything. But no. So I was actually wondering, man. Like me and you talked for 4 hours last night, just sitting on the fucking in the hotel room and shit. But
right.
And I thought about a lot of cool shit to talk about on the drive home last night, but I forgot it all.
Did you forget all of it?
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. Most of it.
You know what? I will say this, and this is a very naive, like, I don't know a lot about this. It's just something I heard, but I've heard a lot of people in other shops. I say a lot of people. I've heard it being said around certain groups or whatever that like some of the, like this thing that we're here at today, this Tucker show, right? These catalogs for parts, like that's a possibility of getting phased out of the industry within, you know, a reasonable amount of time.
Are you talking about the tangible printed catalog? Or are you talking about having multiple vendors that provide multiple
parts? Like more people less wanting to shove their shit in a giant catalog?
Well, here's what I'll tell you about what I know about that.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple friends that manufacture parts. And I'm not going to name any distributor names.
Yeah.
Because I'll just tell you the hurdles. Here, if you go into a book, this isn't all of the vendors, but I know that most of the vendors are the big ones. So first off, they're price fixing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to give them a product that has to fit into what they're willing to pay for it. You have to give them a certain number of products per year, new part numbers. That's how that's the company I'm talking about. It's determined that you have to submit a certain number of new product part numbers, and that's how they do it. They do it by SKU every year. You also have to have an obnoxious amount of liability insurance. So it's cost prohibitive. You take a guy like Boosted Brad, who has parts manufactured in the States. Mm-hmm. Okay, his parts are manufactured in California. The guy that does it is a mutual friend of both of ours. Real good guy, real talented machinist, real talented CAD guy. The only way to make the price point come down is to make the volume go up.
Yeah.
Well, so if you're going to make X number of parts, say 100 piece part order, that's not enough to feed a distributor.
Yeah.
So they have to come to the table with a lot of money. Well, with a lot of POs. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to fund your manufacturing operation. Mm-hmm. They're going to fund it afterwards. So now you get into a problem of how much credit do you have? How much credit are you willing to go out on? So you got a guy like Boosted Brad, he doesn't have $250,000.
Yeah.
And so he would need he might not have 10 SKUs either. If you look at his website, I haven't looked at his website.
He said he had over 100
so he's got
products.
100 products. So
yeah.
So he's got enough SKUs if they were going to pick up the whole line. But every year you get like a closeout catalog from this one particular
that's what I'm wondering.
Vendor.
Does it more for the price, for the money that you have to discount your products to sell through the thing? Is it more feasible for a company like Boosted Brad to just head up the manufacturing on his own? Because in what is it like, most of them, like the catalogs is a 30-30-30 deal, 30 to the vendor, 30 to this, 30 to that, right?
Yeah, basically.
So if you cut that middleman out and you're just doing the dealers direct to the public, that extra 30 could be an employee to handle certain things.
And
or
it
this,
is.
that, and the other.
You take a guy like Boosted Brad. Here's a good comparison. If you look at a guy like MJK, mm-hmm. Dale Yamada, and you look at Boosted Brad. Boosted Brad is producing product in the United States. MJK is producing product. He's a Canadian-based company.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's producing 100% of his parts up there or not. I would assume he is. I'm assuming he's overseeing that, and he's a hands-on guy. There's the cost of entry, the barriers to entry to get into the U.S. market isn't always a good product. I mean, he's got a great product, right? But it's the supply chain. So it behooves him to go to a company like Le Mans or Drag and go, hey, here's what I have. Here's what I can do. Let's make a deal. But all of his parts aren't in that catalog. And then you look at a guy like Paul Yaffe, that his parts, he produces bars that are always on back order through Drag, right? So now I'm finding out that he's not even he's pulling out of the Drag catalog. So
he's going to Tucker though, or is it a hard drive?
I can't answer that, but I do know that I have in the last year set up as a direct dealer with Yaffe, and he's got a guy over there that's handling it. So that 30% you're talking about that he's not going to have to give up to the distributor. Yeah, he now has an in-house guy that he can have multitask and do other things.
So the other part of this whole scenario that I was like questioning is that the naive pros to putting the shit in the magazine, right, or into the catalog is like, it's kind of like getting your shit in Walmart. Now it's everywhere. Now it's in every dealer, every shop in America has this, right? But you still have to do your own marketing. You still have to do your own driving around to like.
You should.
Yeah. So when I'm at my boy, it seems like every time I go to Mark's shop in Austin, the Saddleman rep shows up. The Arlen Ness rep shows up. The fucking another rep from the catalog shows up, and it's like, well, damn, now you're still having to do all this legwork to push your product.
Well, here's what's going on. So if you go back to what you said, like, is the and I don't know exactly if your question was, does the tangible catalog go away or does the small niche manufacturer go away? So, but Arlen Ness isn't a small niche manufacturer.
Yeah.
And they still have people out beating the bushes, boots on the ground, making sure their product is in the forefront of my mind, Shane's mind, whoever's working the counter at the next independent shop or dealership that they go to. Here's what happens. And I'm going to use a specific instance to paint this picture. Kiriakin is a company that is owned under the corporate umbrella of the MAG Group. The other companies that are owned, if people listen and don't know, JP Cycles is owned by the MAG Group. Motorcycle Superstore, that's no longer exists, was under the MAG Group. Performance Machine, Kiriakin, Vance and Hines, Progressive Suspension. All these companies are under that corporate umbrella. I get a phone call if I order something from Kiriakin direct, right? They're in Wisconsin or Minnesota or something like that. I mean, you think that's like a 4-day trek down to Florida. If I buy something out of the Tucker Rocky catalog, the Tucker V Twin catalog, I get it next day because it's in the Jacksonville warehouse usually. If I order it from Tucker Rocky, my Tucker Rocky rep, who I'm friends with, gets credit for that sale. Kiriakin has a salesman that calls me once a week to try to sell me stuff directly from Kiriakin. I think that's not fair. Okay, they shouldn't be undercutting themselves. I mean, they're kind of undercutting my guy. And here's the worst part. If I do a sale with the guy in Kiriakin, he's like, don't worry about it taking I can tell him, look, it's going to take 4 days to come from you. He's like, no. I'm going to pull it from the Jacksonville warehouse. So that's when I say that there's some eating from both sides of the trough going on. I don't agree with that. I think I don't think that's good for any of us.
It's like either sell your shit through the catalog or don't.
I think it should be, And so I don't think Kiriakin should be in competition with Boosted Brad with boots on the ground and in all the distributor catalogs and online and on Amazon. I mean, we all have to worry about that. You don't. No one can buy a paint job through Amazon. The internet is not going to mount a tire. That laptop is not going to mount a tire. At best you're going to get some decent information, but for every one good piece of information you get technical wise on the internet, you're going to get 10 shit ones.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was just a thought, man, because it was a conversation that I had with Rusty, and because he kind of got burned pretty hard when Biker's Choice went out. You know what I mean? When they went under a long time ago. Just had a lot of, I don't know.
You're talking about D&D.
Yeah. Okay. And so he's got a bad taste in his mouth dealing with these big magazine things. It's like, and I kind of agree with it to some extent. It's like if your company, like I would understand PM or something like that would be hard to deal with. You know what I mean? Like that many products, that much shit, wheels, all the different things going on. I understand it's probably easier to funnel it through one of the magazines, especially since they're already owned by the magazines for the most part.
Okay, but so here's the other caveat to that.
Yeah.
You're never going to find 100% penetration in one of the big books from the parts catalog at S&S into their books.
Yeah.
From even Mag Group, you could special order a part from Performance Machine through your Tucker Rocky rep.
Yeah.
But you can also set up as a direct dealer through PM, and that is an arduous task at best when you're trying to order something super custom. It's the only way to get something super custom from them.
Yeah.
And talk to Cody Childress about trying to navigate the minutia of all those fucking part numbers.
Yeah.
When we built that orange bike, we bought 2 wheels.
And y'all did the color on it too.
We did the color on it, and so it got really, really shitty because we bought 2 wheels. We bought the 21 front. We bought 2 sets of hubs. One so we could put dual calipers on it. So we bought 2 radial calipers for the front, radial caliper for the back, 2 rotors for the front, 1 rotor for the back, and then 2 sets of hubs because when we showed the bike at Sturgis, it had 1 brake on it with a 13-inch rotor. We have enough parts there to run a whole nother setup if we decided to put dual calipers on it. And we've got enough. We bought 2 sets of Contour hand controls if you wanted to run a hydraulic clutch, because right now it's got a cable operated clutch on it. So the problem was trying to get everything to match that orange color from them and get them to send the part. It was a nightmare. You know, and so it required you had to have somebody inside PM. You couldn't handle it through a third party is what I'm getting to. You couldn't go to your Tucker Rocky road rep as adept as one would be and all knowing and how to break down the nomenclature of the part numbers. You're not going to get exactly what you need without getting somebody involved over there anyways. So why not go to the horse's mouth? So there's things you can't get in a fat book. There's things you can't get in Tucker Rocky's big book that you can get from S&S, that you can get from, it has to happen.
I get the convenience 100% of like, okay, like you come into my shop, we're doing bars, this, and this, you know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck, everything's in drag or everything's in Tucker. So bam, just one order, it's on the way, I'm on to the next thing going on, right? Instead of like, okay, I got to call Yaffe to get these apes, right? And then I got to call, you know, fucking PM to get some grips and level, you know what I mean? So I get the convenience, and that's why I'm not saying that I think it should or not. I'm just saying, like, I'm hearing certain manufacturers saying
they don't want to be told. Number one, they're going to be told how much they can sell their part for. It's basically price fixing. You know, so, and you're going to have to be told how many you're going to have to produce, and you're going to be under contract to produce those parts. And then when they don't sell, it's on the manufacturer to sell them in the closeout catalog. There's parts that come in the drag closeout catalog at the end of the year. In particular, like I think it was Lowbrow Customs had a bunch of bungs, just weld-on bungs. And let's say the weld-on bungs are $20 dealer cost for a set of 4. Yeah. Well, they would go through the closeout catalog at the end of the year for a set of 4 of them for $8. That's $2 a piece. So I would buy as many as I could. Yeah. And I'm thinking, shit, they're not going to make these anymore. So now I'm going to have to find somewhere else to buy bungs. You know, Bung King or LA Choppers makes bungs too and stuff. All these companies had them. Well, they don't make them. The reason why those companies have those parts are because they have a certain number of SKUs that they have to have. So what they do is they recycle those SKUs. They only make, let's say they only make 50 parts, they need to make 60. They go buy 10 parts from somebody else, have them manufactured, packaged in their packaging, submit them for part number through drag. At the end of the year, they don't sell. Drag kills the part number. They re-release the same part again under a new part number the next year. There's bungs in the drag catalog this year. Yeah. And they're a different part number than what they were the year prior.
So the other thing I remember now that I was thinking about is we had talked a lot about, you know, like magazines and, you know, because obviously Hot Bike kind of finally kicked the bucket on print media. And then you had mentioned that, you know, was it Backstreet Chopper? Is that
the horse? Backstreet Choppers is kind of up in the air. I mean, there's some political stuff going there that I can tell you. That's basically, there's some the owner that Ralph Janis, friend of mine who went by Hammer. He's apparently, from what I've told him, this is not from him. This is just through course of just doing some fact finding, that he basically has charged a a woman named Chanel with the ownership and the control of the magazine, and he's either sold it to her, leased it to her for the intellectual property rights or what, but I don't know that it's in production right now. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing.
And I don't know if you follow Show Class much, but I haven't even seen a Show Class magazine come out in a minute. I think they got caught up in some kind of lawsuit with a book they did. There was it was a book, an outlaw book that they were like, had a lot of pictures of clubs, and it was some weird thing.
Is that the same individual that goes by Outlaw MCs on Insta?
It might be. Okay. It might be. I'm not sure. But I remember hearing about it on Danger Dan's podcast. And I like the magazine. I just haven't seen anything of their content.
I mean, content-wise, those magazines are fun to look at.
Yeah.
I'm more of an editorial guy. I mean, when I was on the staff of The Horse for a number of years, like officially, total probably 7 years, officially probably 3 of that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I'm an opinionated person, and I think I'm smarter than, a lot of people, I guess, and not trying to be arrogant, but you know what I mean. It's like I think I've got a substantive opinion that I'd like to put in everybody's face, and that was a way to do it. But I mean, it was a self-dealing transaction. I never got paid or anything. I never asked to get paid. It's just something I enjoyed doing.
It's also like kind of giving back to the
it's giving them content.
Yeah,
I enjoy that magazine. That magazine's nothing without content.
Yeah,
I mean, from every different walk of the industry. I mean, just like these podcasts. This is probably the most masturbatory thing I've ever done besides masturbating is fucking listen to my own voice on the internet talking to somebody about motorcycles and recording the conversation. I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, I think it's I'm a podcast, a little bit of a podcast nerd.
You had like made comments like I thought were real interesting, like a power vacuum or a vacuum basically with these magazines kind of going under, and you see a lot of people scrambling for this to make a presence in some type of social media.
We need it.
Yeah, we do. But I think that the problem is or not the problem, but the hard thing to figure out is how to make a living off of it, because there's so many content creators.
Sure, but everything, go back in time and look at every substantive form of media. I mean, the people that were going to revolutionize the world by putting a box in every living room in the United States and putting pictures in it and having TV shows were laughed out of the board meetings for the radio companies. And then now you look at when I'm talking about the vacuum I'm talking about is when everybody pulls out fast to something, it creates a vacuum. So economically, content-wise, I don't want to be limited to I fucking hate Twitter, but it's 340 characters on Twitter. I'm not reading a book on Instagram. Some people post these big, long, go fuck yourself. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but I just want to see pictures of your bike. I want to see a picture of your product, whatever. That's not enough. To me, that's a tease. iHeartRadio owns half of the audio media in the world. They're not putting 20,000 podcasts on iHeartRadio for no fucking reason.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Is like we were driving back from Easy Rider show. And we just had the local radio stations playing and as just background noise basically. And I just kept hearing podcasts, and it was always commercials for iHeartRadio. I was like, man, because I hadn't listened to the radio, like a regular ass radio show, in so long that I didn't realize that was hurting too. That regular radio,
terrestrial radio,
yeah,
it's getting murdered. People that are broadcasters or have something to say don't want to be told what the fuck to say. You don't want to be told they can't say fuck. I mean, if the point deserves having a fuck inserted in the middle of it, then by all means, fuck away. But the FCC, you have to have a broadcast license if you're going to be on the radio. Mm-hmm. There's all these rules. There's all these, and the way that they sell, the way that they finance those radio stations is through selling commercial time. I don't want to fucking listen to a commercial. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear your shit. I don't want to hear about Regal Kia's $499 Kia deal. I don't give a shit. I don't need, you know what I mean? Consumerism is changing too. I don't know how you are when you buy something, but when I buy something, I start digging around quietly, looking for what I want to purchase. Then I do the kind of research that I can do. Mm-hmm. if you have something that I'm thinking about, you can say, hey man, don't get this because of that. I bought one of these, whatever. Do a little bit of that. But now I'm going to try to find it. Where can I buy it right now? And if I can't put my hands on it right now locally, then I start looking on the internet.
Yeah, what's the fastest I can get
What is the quickest I can get it here? Because I'm ready to make the purchase, but I don't tire kick people. I don't go in, you get tire kicked more than anybody being a painter.
Yeah, I just don't answer.
Nobody in my business,
Yeah.
and you're in my business, nobody in the motorcycle business gets told that their shit isn't worth what they're asking like a fucking painter does. Mm-hmm. And I stress this so much. When Danny, 53 Graphics, when we were working together, mm-hmm. I'm like, look, dude, make a fucking bill of materials. Make a list. Know what your cost is. You need to cost everything out. Every invoice that we close out at Cycle Stop, if we put wrenches on that bike, we cost it out. I want to know if I'm making money or not.
Yeah.
There's gold in them there hills. I mean, you're going to find something that's you're missing something. I don't care. I don't give a shit what it is. You're not charging. I guarantee you're probably not charging enough for masking tape.
Here comes the beer.
Gets
that's kind of the
I want another of these too. Jack and Ginger, please.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the concept that I'm looking for is like trying to. You kind of made a lot of statements that were, real nice of you about our podcast and stuff, but like I really want to know. I've never lived in a world without, a hot bike and an Easy Rider and, Cycle Source and all these other things. Well, first now that they're all kind of changing.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But that's where people look. The thing is like, okay, if you and I said, it's like I told you about my podcast. I started my podcast in 12.
Yeah.
Right? It was the second podcast I had ever done. It was the first motorcycle podcast that I had done. I did it for 10 episodes, and I parked it for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I believed in the medium. I still believe in the medium. It was tough to book guests. I was doing it all myself. I had a lot of other things going on. I was willing to pay the server to keep it live. Why I'm telling you that is so I can tell you this. Even if somebody with more money than you, and it's going to happen, mm-hmm. comes out and has, they build a podcast studio at their house and they've got a budget that they can afford to fly guests in and, they've got somebody that's just doing the production work for them and the post-production and, all the editing and all that bullshit. And they've got the best microphones, the best headphones, the best art on the wall. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You started before they did. They still have to fucking catch up to you, man.
Yeah.
They still have to catch up to you. So what they don't have with all their resources, they don't have time in the box. Mm-hmm. They haven't been at bat. So who cares if you're not?
Well, I've learned. I think one of the best things I've ever learned in life is that I'm not in competition with anybody. You know what I mean? So even like when it comes to podcasts, I don't listen to my boy Dan's podcast and think, man, he's so much better than me. I just like, man, that was cool. Like, I look at everything as more of a motivational thing. Like,
well, you're using competition in a negative connotation. I don't think competition is negative at all. I'm in competition with you in a healthy way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all healthy.
It's all healthy. It needs to be.
I listen to like that, and I want my podcast to be as good as I can make it be. And I use friends like him as motivation, but I don't look at it like in a negative way. Like, oh man. Like, I don't get depressed over it. Like, when I see some other painter, Lucky Strike, some badass dude do some wicked shit, I don't go back and go like, fuck, man, I don't know why I even do this. You know what I mean?
But if you don't do that once in a while,
yeah,
or if you catch yourself doing that and you're not doing your best work, maybe that's what that's for. You have to be a little introspective of what you're doing. You have to be cognizant of where you're going.
The other thing about the magazine stuff is that the kind of out of sight, out of mind thing that I don't think a lot of people think about is how much the magazine companies have put on things at the events that we've gone to over the years, whether it was bike shows or get-togethers or whatever the case. So, between American Bagger doing the Big Wheel or the Baddest Bagger show across the country at every show, whether it's Hot Bike doing the Hot Bike tour or Cycle Source doing the the In Motion, whatever that thing was called. There's just so many things that these magazine companies provide for the actual events that, without them being there, it's like That's kind of a way, like, why we felt like we should step up with the camp outs and stuff like that.
So I'll tell you, there's a positive and negative in that. Mm-hmm. If you're a manufacturer that's got a new, let's say Performance Machine comes out with a new line of wheels that's a revolutionary way to do the wheels. They look like nothing else has ever been out there.
Yeah.
How the fuck are they going to get it to us if they don't have a magazine to advertise in?
Yeah.
I buy my magazines.
Mm-hmm.
You buy your magazines. I know you read magazines. I mean, we've had this conversation. We both like to. I want to have a tangible magazine.
Yeah.
I still think it's kind of cool to get your bike in a magazine. I do. I know that you've been. Maybe it's not a hot button for you.
No,
but I enjoy it.
Even, anytime you're in a magazine, even if it's just a local magazine, it's like, fuck, it's pretty cool.
But so if you're the advertisers need to step up. Okay. These companies aren't selling less things than they sold 10 years ago. They're selling more things. We've seen the economy's better than what it was in 2008. Everyone tells us that from the top down, from Trump down, tells us that the economy's doing better. I know that I have more people coming in with more expendable cash than what I did 5 years ago. So it's the advertisers have to put the money back into the magazines. But here's the other thing. Look at all the opportunity that Hot Bike disappearing, that's a lot of opportunity. Go get the last issue that was printed at Hot Bike and start at the back in those fucking small ads, the size of a business card, and start cold calling those people. Hey man, I'm Jace from the Fast Life Garage podcast.
That's not a bad idea.
Hey, you were in Hot Bike the last 6 months. You don't have anywhere to be. I know how expensive it was to go on a Hot Bike. It's not anywhere that expensive to go with my stuff.
Yeah.
And just like a magazine that can sit on a shelf for 20 years and somebody could refer back to it, my podcast isn't going away. It's on the interwebs forever. So the mention that you get from me 5 minutes into my podcast or 20 minutes in my podcast, you're going to get some return on your investment. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to look at everything. Yeah, it sucks. But you know why I think it sucks that there's not magazines around? Because I like looking at magazines when I'm taking a shit.
Yeah.
I like being in a magazine when I build a bike that's worth being in a fucking magazine. And I like to order that $300 board.
Yeah.
That's got the magazine laminated on the wall.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I guess,
I get my jollies with it. So there's opportunity created in that. That's the vacuum I'm talking about. There's all this opportunity. And if we look at things like it's going to be shitty and the glass is half full.
I don't think it's going to be shitty. I think it's going to be a different world,
Different's
right?
good sometimes.
And what I'm getting at is that, like, when we say, oh, the magazines are gone, most people immediately think about the newsstand, and they don't think about all the things that magazines had their hands in.
Yeah.
Magazines helped do events. They helped push the narrative for people to want to fix up their bikes. I mean, fortunately, we have that on Instagram now, but there was that. How many guys have ever walked in your shop and go, man, I see you got one of those plaques on the wall. I want one of those. I'm willing to spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to build a cool bike that maybe will make it in that.
That's what I have a bike at the shop right now that it's almost finished. That's why he's doing it. I mean, his goal is to get into a magazine.
Yeah.
If there's no magazines to be in, there's not going to be a way for him to do that. I mean, there's not going to be no magazines. I have to tell you, Easy Riders is still
Easy Riders still doing it.
I think there's other things going on.
I think people
Hot Bike not being around is a function of. I mean, we can belabor this to death, and if Jeff Holt was sitting here, he could tell us.
But you know what? I kind of have this weird feeling that, like, something else is going to come along. I don't know if it's going to come along on the level of Hot Bike, but I feel like somebody else is going to come along. And right now, we still have very tight niche based magazines like, Easy Rider. Cycle Source is kind of more gear driven towards the chopper stuff still, and Easy Riders kind of as well. I mean, they'll have a bagger in every once in a while, but you're not going to see a club style Dyna or FXR in Easy Rider, and I'm sure they've had one before, but it's not their targeted market.
No, it's not.
And maybe like we've said thousands of times in this podcast, our little club style this, that, and the other performance, this, that, and the other is minute in the grand scheme of things.
It is. It's a smaller segment of the population, but it's the segment of the population that I most identify with, and so it's going to organically get my nod. I mean, I'm going to put some emphasis on it.
Yeah.
But I don't have people coming in. We have very rare do we have somebody come in with a club style Dyna or a club style FXR in Florida.
3 years ago, I wasn't getting that shit here, and now it's everywhere. It's just slowly making
exactly. That's the other thing that happens in our industry that I don't think. That I don't think.
Don't
happens.
worry, I use that shit all the time.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't happen in other industries in the same manner. Is something will be popular very regionally in the motorcycle industry, where it's not like that in cars. You know, everybody's into 10.5 tire racing on or drag radial racing at the same time. Everybody's got the 5.0 Mustang at the same time. Everybody's into Camaros at the same time. But the motorcycle thing is definitely regional because of the terrain I think that people use their bikes on and the kind of riding they do. It's much different riding season in Florida in the summer than what it is in the winter. And it's much different in Florida than it is anywhere.
Y'all need rain tires, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can almost set your watch to Memorial Day to Labor Day. You can set your watch that it's going to rain at the end of the day at some point in time. I mean, for most time.
Yeah.
It'll rain for 3-4 hours, get everything wet and humid. And
all right, I'm out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Scrape your nuts off the side of your leg with a spatula and head home.
I bet, fucking baby powder's like off the shelf out there. They sell that shit in like Costco and like
the monkey butt.
Yeah. All over the place. Yeah.
Little talcum.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's one of those things to think about, about media. It's out of sight, out of mind for a lot of people that have resorted primarily, but those shops out there, those guys that want to build bikes. I mean, we have to. I guess the thing is that there's got to be new incentives, whether it's like the show that you're putting on down there, or maybe it's the camp out and just the coming out riding and showing off with your friends. Maybe it's the bike nights. Maybe like what's going to be the new reason or motivation.
Well, I think okay. So let's look at the media outlets that we use on a pretty regular basis. I mean, you do a really good job.
Yeah.
You are on social media appropriately.
Yeah.
You use it to promote things you're doing. You're kind of hitting all the facets. You host an event. It went well. You host a bike night. It's going well. I mean, I'm in Florida and I look at all the pictures every Tuesday night. I know that, your T-Bar crew or whatever it is that you got.
It's not mine. It's just, I'm part of it.
Well, I understand that the group of people that you orbit with in that circle. I see the pictures. You guys post on Instagram and that. You do the podcast. You're consistent with the podcast. I mean, you did 59 episodes last year. Fuck, I'm 59 yet. I mean, so it's going to be pretty tough to criticize you for not doing your part, and also people are kind of looking at you to see what you're going to do because you're the one doing shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, man. We spend a lot of time around motorcycles. Mm-hmm. A lot more than any most pedestrian people, does. Even a guy that's super into motorcycles still has an 8 to 10 hour a day job that he's got to check out on motorcycles, and all he thinks about is his goddamn bike. And so, you have to continue.
It's easy. I don't know if you're going this way, and I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to pull a Jesse on you real quick. But
where's that fucker at?
He's on his way. He says he's gonna come out tonight, but. That's what I was saying.
No, you said
fucking Jesse.
You said I don't want to interrupt you, and I don't know if this is what you're saying.
I don't know what it was. It was just like
I think what you thought I was going to say was that you have to. Okay, you're using all of the pieces and parts that you have to make sure that you're doing what you can do. The guy that works all day, every day, doesn't care about his motorcycle any less than we do. In fact, in some ways, he probably cares more about it because he goes to some shitty job that he doesn't really want to do anymore.
Oh, okay. This is what I was going to say, and it's very vague, but, a lot of people I talk to, shops, hell, I've even heard you and Cody talk about this in y'all's podcast about how,
Cody's a dick.
Yeah, Cody. Oh, I'm not going out I don't want to camp on the ground. I'm too fancy for that shit.
Oh, that is fucking Cody all the way, dude.
But, the thing is like, I get it. Like some of you guys have been in the scene so long that, it's not exciting. I mean, it's exciting, but it's not as exciting as it is to me. Well, and the reason it's exciting to me and why I want to ride every day and why I choose to ride my bike to work. Right now I only have a fucking motorcycle, but for the most part, it's because I just enjoy it. And I look at like a lot of things like, I'm having a hard time getting into a workout schedule because I keep fucking partying with my boys. You know what I mean? My bike boys.
What the fuck are you trying to work out for?
Dude, I got to get sexy, man. I got to.
Dude, I don't know.
You know how hard
I saw a
it is to put
meme the
socks
other
on?
day.
It's so fucking hard to put socks on.
You can get one of those fucking. They have those diabetic things where you put the sock on the thing and you just pull it up your leg.
Dude,
you're not that fat, dude.
Dude, it's getting there.
Listen, here's the thing I'm going to tell you about that. Like, so, not about working out. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I fucking get sore from sleeping on my fucking arm wrong. I don't need to lift something so that I'm sore. So
I really want to be the
alive.
best at picking shit up. So that's my goal.
Well, so, but you marginalize using a trailer to get somewhere.
Well, I think
you are a hater of trailers, and I get it, whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing like sitting in fucking.
Dude. It's clickbait.
I get it, but there's nothing like sitting in Cody's fucking brand new fucking $80,000 Lariat fucking truck, looking on my fucking iPhone in the air conditioner while you assholes are fucking rolling down the freeway, getting flat fucking tires. And I get it. It's all about the fucking. You know, it's all about the process of getting there and making the trip there part of the trip. But
well, I think I don't know if the right word is like a wanderlust kind of feeling, but when you do these trips,
it is a wanderlust,
especially with your friends, like you do these trips and you're like, you know, you're not. There's certain things I've realized that you have to cut out of the equation. You got to cut the wives, the women out. You got to get out there with your friends and your boys. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but. When you go out on these trips and you're ripping across the country and you're doing this shit, there is a way different feeling. I'm not gonna say that when me and my brother jumped in the car and drove to NorCal to drop parts off and we didn't have some good laughs and some good talks, but it's not the same as when we rode to Sturgis together.
It's not, because it's not the same trip. But so I'll give you an example. You know, and just so that everybody, I've done what you're. Mm-hmm. We rode from fucking. I rode from Detroit to Salisbury, North Carolina, back to Detroit in one weekend's time, and rode motorcycles the whole way there with a chase truck. Okay, my bike broke.
Oh, that's
all the
cheating.
shit.
That's cheating.
Slept in a fucking
chase truck. What's that?
Yeah, well,
AAA?
Hey, this is what it is. Somebody was willing to drive the fucking truck. Somebody had to have some.
That's very.
Slept in the trailer. Halfway down there in West Virginia, the whole 9 yards. So, I mean, but what I'm getting at is I've done the fucking, almost didn't get to the event, got to the event, didn't have anywhere to stay, slept on picnic tables, park benches, and those are where you get those memories.
Yeah. You've also been in the industry a long time, and I expect that from somebody.
You've been in the industry as long
as
me.
But, I started in a different area of the industry. What? But what I'm saying is, or what I want to...
Your experiences are going to be different than mine.
Exactly.
Completely. And I can draw from that because you've done shit that I haven't done, dude.
Yeah, but what I want, or I talk to people about is to get that experience is a great thing, especially if you're a motorcycle shop, because it gives you a much better perspective of how to help customers go.
Oh, I agree with that.
Like, you ever been in somebody, like I am the worst at this, right? I'll be hanging out with a buddy, not necessarily Mark or anything like that, but I'll be around another dude at his shop or around like this trade show, and I'll listen to people try to sell shit to people, and I'm like, your motherfucking ass ain't never rode a bike nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, just I think about that. I'm like, what is like that? You know, as somebody, like, that fucking set of handlebars sucks for riding far.
Yeah.
This, that. But of course, that's all comfort to me. But I feel like if you're a shop and you've jumped on your bike and you've done the trips, you just kind of have a better insight for that customer. Not every customer,
right?
But for that guy that comes in, like, hey man, I want to get out and just, I want to ride, man. I'm looking for, that. What do I need to do? How do I get started? So your shop can be a lot more than just your oil change place, or it could be your connection. I mean, it could be a lot of things, man. But it's
okay. So it goes back to the media conversation.
Yeah.
Your motorcycle shop can essentially be a hub of information for the people who patronize your shop and come around and hang around your shop, and it should be. I mean, you've got 90 days in now. You've seen what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm talking to Shane because he's new at the shop and that in the last 90 days, but he can tell you that there's a community of people that come in and, you're starting to see the regulars that come in.
Yeah.
Some of the regulars don't spend any money, very often. When they do, they spend it with you.
They need to pay like a support fee, like what was the Chopper Dogs
Patreon?
thing?
Yeah.
the Chopper Dogs deal you used to pay for just to hang out and be a part of the conversation. You just
exactly $25 a
monthly
month.
dues. Yeah,
that was that was unbelievable when you
$5.
yeah, when you look back on it in kind of in that context. But
I want to talk about that too before, but go ahead and finish this one.
go ahead. No, all I was saying is that I try to find as many opportunities as I can, and the opportunities that I don't take, where people are like, "Oh, you missed that. You could have been a fucking millionaire or whatever." I mean, that kind of shit. Okay, whatever. It's not what I like. I told you yesterday. I do what I want. I'm doing what I want to do in this business.
Yeah,
you're doing what you want to do in this business.
Yeah, and honestly, and what I like to say is, there's nothing wrong with you or another shop that doesn't do what I do. That's fine. But we go back to the beginning of this conversation. I'm still gonna make fun of you and your trailer. So just fucking come back at me with some, like y'all did. Y'all said some shit on the podcast, and it was like, all right, yeah, cool. I'm gonna get them next time. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's all good. I'm not like, fuck you and your trailer having $80,000 leather seats looking motherfucking asses. You know, like, no, man, that's cool. I wish I could afford it, because if I did, I'd probably do the same thing. But you know, I'm just taking my pieces of the puzzle and fucking doing it.
I honestly, I wasn't butthurt by it at all. I got what you were saying.
People you see in the big wheel world,
yeah, but
they
hated
me for that shit.
Well, you know, I mean, you cast a large wake when you say shit like that to people who haven't done it. They're not in it.
Yeah.
You know, just like you, I was so bummed when you came to Daytona, and you and I got fucked out of Daytona last year just due to some scheduling issues with bikes and trying to get them done and putting too much pressure on myself with the move. And
yeah, dude, I understand. It's so hard to get across the state. Yeah.
And fucking shots fired. Starboard bow. No, I wanted to, at that point, you had only had a couple of podcasts out, so I wasn't sure if I even wanted to hang out with you. No, I'm just kidding. But no, and then you're fuck Daytona and all that, and I'm like, okay, I have been there, and Daytona's not great right now. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that event has taken a fucking nosedive into the side of the cliff. But just like we're talking with everything, you want to make that event better, then fucking show up and be part of it and make it better.
Yeah.
Don't sit back in the cheap season like that. Fuck you, asshole. You know what I mean? Fucking, I don't need that. No one needs that. What we need is for good quality people like yourself and your crew guys and your brother and Mark from Texas Performance and the guy John Evil. Evil's, I don't think he's ever been to fucking Daytona Bike Week.
Does that dude even ride?
I don't know. Love you, John. He's too busy fucking talking someone's ear off.
I know, right? He's like, I would hate to go on a ride with him and stop at a gas. Hold on, I got to take this phone call. I'm like, all right, dude.
I texted you before. Yeah. You texted me like,
but
hey,
it's not just him. Like, it's me and him. Like, we just bam, 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 bam.
Dude, that guy. When you told me you're like, yeah, I'm going to be podcasting. Yeah, you were like, I'm going to podcast with John Evil tonight. Is there anything I should know? I'm like, fucking get a comfortable chair, dude, because your ears are going to fucking falling off. That guy can talk to you.
I had fun talking to him.
I could tell.
Also,
how many beers did you drink?
Full 12-pack, start to finish 12-pack. I was proud of myself. And
I think you got up twice to piss.
Yeah, I do that too. But no, like,
that was one of the ones you could hear him 20 feet away going, I'll be right there.
Hold on. But no, that's fun. But you know, it's hard to orchestrate events. Like, we're trying, like, me and Mark have been kicking ideas for lots of different shit here in Texas. But it's also because it's in Texas and we have reach to the people to host things at or help out with, like Texas Hills or Nitty Gritty, these other smaller shows. So we want to do what we can to help those out. But it's hard for us to reach out to anybody in Daytona and be like, hey, we want to help y'all do this. Like, it's hard for us.
It's not.
But it would be easier if we could help.
Jordan and Giselle.
Yes.
But we reach out to those guys. They put on an event at the Ace Cafe last year that I didn't get to go to, but I heard really positive things.
It was even closer to your house than Daytona. Plant City, dude. That's like the next fucking city, dude. Orlando.
No, Lakeland, yeah. I mean, honestly, Lakeland is the next city over from Orlando, yeah. Well, Ace Cafe is in Orlando.
Yeah.
But my point being is that it's just a matter of, that's why this is important.
Yeah.
Having dialogue with you, having a relationship with you where where we can bounce business ideas, because this is a commerce event here.
Yeah.
Not us talking, but this podcast.
Yeah.
This is the next medium. This is what makes sense. I mean, to me,
yeah, it does.
I enjoy it. It's not as tangible as holding a magazine in your hand, but it can be just as visceral when you strike a chord with somebody. You were telling me about a podcast you listened to, and you were like, oh, as soon as they said A, you thought of B, and that can happen here.
Yeah.
I mean, I get feedback from podcasts, not as much as you do, but
well, I get feedback a lot too. But I also see a lot of people that, I guess it's in the nature of some people that listen to these things, and there's a number of motorcycle podcasts out there, right? There's some that are like, that do 3 and then they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Or they do, like 20 and then they just kind of lost their sting or whatever the case may be. But
he's fucking.
No, I'm really not giving you shit on that one.
This guy's got 15 evidence and fucking talks a lot, but
but then the thing that annoys me is that every one of these motorcycle, my podcast can't be Danger Dan's podcast.
No.
Otherwise, what the fuck? And vice versa, and this can't be the Forever Two Wheels podcast. You're getting a different,
Which one is Forever Two Wheels? Is that
isn't that, yeah.
Okay.
So
that's separate from.
I don't know if it's separate or not, because when he does the live shit, it comes up on my Forever Two Wheels on my iTunes thing. So I don't know how that works, but the point being is that Dan does his podcast the way he does it. Sometimes he does something like, man, I want to try that, but for the most part, he does his way, and I like his. When I listen to his podcast,
his personality,
I get
comes
that
through, right?
Through. And dude, I'm sorry if I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry, dude. Maybe I'm just good at painting bikes, but this podcast sounds the way this sounds because I'm the motherfucker doing it.
No,
I mean?
It has to be authentic. It can't be contrived. There can't be a bunch of bullshit fluff in it. I do think that, I expect at some point that there's going to be some quality, you have some, you've got D&D, you've got Horsepower Incorporated, you got Paint Huffer, Metal Flake, honest sponsors. Those are pretty high-level sponsors in our industry, as far as I'm concerned. Those are people that
you should have seen how hard to suck those guys off to get them to sponsor me, dude.
Well, I'm just fucking. But my point being is that
I would like for the podcast to start being more interactive with the events taking place, whether it is Giselle and Jordan's thing out there, or whether it is Born Free or something that we mean.
Yeah, but you didn't podcast at your own fucking camp out, which didn't make any fucking sense.
Because I was fucking drunk, dude.
Okay, so I'll be critical. The thing is you've got to make. That's part of what people are listening for the. First off, if you're
see if I'm being an idiot or not.
No, I mean,
you want to go trade some buttholes for bikes on Craigslist?
No, what I'm talking about is that there is a certain expectation, dude. If you got on here and started using $10 words, people would be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" You know what I mean? You
That's
have
what
to,
I feel like most of the time it is.
Dude,
anytime Mark is on this podcast with anybody, if it's just me and Mark, we can do it. But with Mark and Steve Chamberlain. For some reason, I was on a dick fetish thing, and I just kept talking about dicks and penises the whole time. It had nothing to do with what they were talking. They're talking about Olin suspension back and forth and hitting corners and real nerdy shit. And I'm like, throw a dick on it. You know what I mean? It's just there's times where I'm just completely useless, especially around people that are so smart like that.
Well, I mean, they're talking about something that's not in your wheelhouse.
No, I want it to be though. That's what I was saying. So my whole goal this year is to read a couple books. No, I'm an audiobook. The fuck, I like reading shit.
Really?
Yeah,
dude. I can tell you that is far and away the one thing that I would caution every individual in the world. I don't tell kids to fucking go to college.
I am dyslexic. Be happy. And I got ADD shit, which I don't think I don't use that as an excuse, but you know what I do when I read? I either fall asleep or I think about other shit. I'm like, what the fuck did I just read for the last 10 minutes?
Well, you're not reading the right shit.
I'll read past the page. Shit I'm interested in. I'll read the pages, and then I'll be thinking about other shit, and I'm reading and I'm doing the motions. You ever been on your bike and you've been riding, or your car and you're driving, you're like, holy shit, I last time I remember anything was 10 miles ago. Yeah. You're like, where did the last 10 miles go,
Well, I think you need to rein it in somehow.
Well, I feel like just at least listening to the audiobooks would give me a better, a more perspectives, you know what I mean? Because especially the one, the Outliers you're reading right now, I want to check that one out too. I want to check out that one from Jocko, that Jocko Willingly one or whatever the fuck his name is. I want to read that Sex at Dawn, that fucking, whatchamacallit.
Have you kicked out with a couple of book titles, and I thought, oh fuck, maybe he does.
I think about it.
He is intellectual. So you think about being intellectual.
I play the part. I try to look like it. I try to
walk around with a fucking really smart hat on and a fucking book in your hand.
You used a couple of words I'm going to add. I don't know what they go in what context to use them, but I'm going to throw them out one day. You're like, yeah, that didn't go there. But, fuck, that's me,
That's all right.
I think in 10 years that this podcast keeps going on, I think I'm going to be pretty smart.
I think you're pretty smart now. I just think that you just have like you're kind of a bull in a china shop verbally, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I'm saying. That's part of the charm that you have. That why you have the listeners that you have. You have a real listenership. You have a real group of people that listen to you. I told you before. My podcast is mostly to amuse me and to play to the back of the room. Yeah. I want you to listen to my podcast. I want everyone to want to listen to the podcast. I want you to listen to the podcast. I want you to listen to the podcast.
Well, that's
I want Adam to listen to the podcast.
It goes back to what I was saying.
People that are in the industry to listen to me, because that's who I really care about my opinion going into. Is like, I want to see your business succeed. If I can help you do that from some of the stupid fucking choices that I've made, and I have made some stupid fucking choices in this business.
Says the house owner.
Well, what I'm saying is that
I'll show you some stupid choices. You know what I mean? Look at my 2018 year. That's all me, dude. I did all that on my own.
Okay, so remember what I was talking about, getting out of the starting blocks first?
Yeah.
You and I started our careers within the same year. Mm-hmm. You're 10 years younger than me. When you're 46, you're going to be 10 years ahead of where I'm at right now. I mean, that should give you a little bit of kind of something to hang your hat on a little bit. You're still here.
Do you ever follow like Chris D'Elia and like Brian Callen? How they go
I
back?
watch those clowns.
I'm totally going to do that shit to you. You're going to be the Brian Callen. I'm going to be the Chris D'Elia to your...
to my Brian Callen?
Yeah. You're the older, wiser dude, but I'm just going to hit you with stupid, ignorant shit all the time.
And you're going to be more successful. And there you go. Chris D'Elia is arguably far and away more well-known and more successful than Brian. But Brian has proven that slow and steady wins the race. He's got his own TV show right now. The Fighter and the Kid podcast is doing well. And I know people probably don't see the...
That's where that Scram shit came from that we were saying.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. Okay. I was listening to that Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen, the best of, they do that belt for the end of the year. And Brian Callen's like, I'm going to walk up to you when you're with your brother, or your brother when he's with his wife, and I'm going to tell him to scram just to take his girl from him. And I was like, that shit was so fucking funny.
Well, but I mean, I know that when you and I are having conversations, we're podcast nerds a little bit, and we listen to the same podcasts.
Yeah.
So we're not looking for content, I'm looking for delivery. I'm looking at how does the content come across? How do they structure things? I mean, these are people that are millionaires and they have production teams and production studios that they show up and somebody's, getting them their fucking water and, doing everything's already set up. So that's not us. We're more boots on the ground kind of guys about the whole thing. And so we've got opportunity to make this be whatever it is we want it to be, but at the same time we can't lose who we start off with.
And I don't think we'll ever do that. It's a weird thing, like thinking about like the industry and when I started and when I first got to go around and when I was first around Rick Fairless and first saw Dave Perowitz and all these names that you'd see on biker build-offs back then. You start to meet them or know them, or especially the ones that are still like in the industry at all. And you realize that it's a long-term game that you're playing of being relevant in this world. It's like those short, quick shops will come in and make a big splash, like we're the new kings on the block, and they usually go away. Scrub Cycles.
That's why I don't give those guys very much heed.
Those like, and that's another thing that I was like wanting to talk about that I'm not want to talk about in a negative way, but it is along the lines of bagger stuff, and we've been trying to find ways to bring in the bagger like some shot from it on here, but not to the point to where I'm like shaking my head every time they talk, like you're gay.
Well, they need to capitulate to some degree and come to the table. These are people that largely have not come to the table and tried to make nice with anybody. Look, man, when I got in this fucking business, hand to fucking God, I went around to all of the bike shops in Detroit and went to the owner and said, hey, my name is Jason. I want to open a shop in Plymouth. I'm just being upfront with you. I'm not trying to steal your customers or go after it. I just want to be in this business.
Yeah.
And some of the guys were cool. Some of the guys were dicks. But the guy that was the coolest guy to me is one of the closest people to me when I need him to be.
Yeah.
Is Steve Broyles from Stevenson Cycle in Wayne, Michigan. Mm-hmm. He worked on my dad's bike when there was something that needed to be done that my dad couldn't do or didn't have the tools. I went to Steve, I shook his hand, and he said, you know what? He says, as long as you're doing it right and you have a shop and you're not doing it out of your house, I will support you. And that man has been behind me every step of the fucking way, man. Yeah. Every step of the way. He was the first man to call me when my dad died.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And you know, have we always gotten along? We've always gotten along to a point. There's been times where I've gone to his shop and he's fucking crabby, and I'm like, are you crabby? Because if you're crabby, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not listening to this today. And he's like, wait, you know. And I'm very good friends with his son, Deuce. And
well, that's how Mark is too. He says, like, you know, hey, he's not opposed. Like, if you're a shop in his town or even down the street, it's not a big deal. And I agree with this. It's like, as long as you're doing it the way that I'm having to do it. You know, I don't want to compete with the dude in his garage.
Dude, I won't do it. There was a fucking guy, I won't say his name, but he came to me. He was in my area. Mm-hmm. Had a shop. Do you remember a company called MC Advantages? Real small catalog, but had a lot of really cool shit. They had Prowler transmissions. They had Polypans. They were an S&S distributor, but they had their own kind of line of S&S stuff that they went and found that was like real specific. They were a great chopper catalog. I mean, if you were building a chopper, that was a great catalog to have for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I quit. I wasn't really ordering a lot of parts from him. The guy called and he's like, hey man, why aren't you buying stuff from me? I'm like, because you sell the fucking dude down the road in his garage.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we don't do that. I go, really? I go, I'm on your website right now. Type in the address in Google Earth. This is when Google Earth first started. And I go, you see that? You see that picture? That's a freaking in-ground pool. I don't have an in-ground pool behind my shop. No one does. That's that dude's house, you know? And that dude came at me. We were at a show at the Forbidden Wheels Clubhouse in Hell, Michigan, and he come up to me with no shirt on because he always had no shirt on. He was
that's so gangster.
Yeah, he was. And he's like, hey, fucker, I should punch you in the face and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey, dude. Go fuck yourself. I don't make $100,000 a year working at Ford Motor Company and then go home and play bike builder on the weekend. I go, you want to be in this industry? Fine. Go be poor with me. Come in and be poor. He's like, fuck you. I'm like, no, you're taking money out of my kid's mouth.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Your conversation was serious as fuck, but that just
made it clown shoes.
But no,
but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a common thing around the world, and you know, on the other side, like you'll hear someone say, "Well, someone's got to get off their feet somehow," and there's ways of doing it. I think. How would you say the guy that wants to get into this industry, wants to start a shop, or wants to do any of that? How should he start? Should he start in his garage?
Pay full price for his parts. Mm-hmm. He should stay in his lane, mm-hmm. decide what part of it he's going to do, not do everything, and then he needs to make. I mean, within a year, he needs to be making moves to have a shop. I mean,
so if you start in your garage, which is
everybody does,
yeah, everybody does. So that's not the issue. The issue is like,
don't front,
don't undercut everybody,
and don't front like you got some fucking shit you ain't got, man. Go rent a fucking building. Figure out how expensive that is.
Yeah,
I pay $26,000, and I a cheap rent. I pay $26,000 a year to stand in somebody else's fucking box.
Yeah.
To make $26,000 clear, I got to sell $85,000 in parts because of the way the margins are because of the internet.
Yeah.
So the first $85,000 of business that I do every year, that's fucking gone just for rent.
Yeah.
Then add internet, phone, you know, any taxes on any profit because that's all you pay taxes on if you're doing it right. Right? You got to have inventory. You got to pay payroll. You got to pay yourself.
Yeah.
You got to pay yourself at some point in time. You know, I mean, I don't pay myself in a structured format. Yeah. My guys get paid on time. That's what's most important to me. That and rent. If I got those two things covered, I can pretty much handle everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay to start in your garage.
Dude, I started in the garage. Fast Life Garage. That was a garage.
I get it.
It's funny because my big wheel bagger, my white one that I built, that kind of got me known in the big wheel world. I built that in my garage, right? And then I got a big shop, and then I shut that shop down and went back to my garage and then built the Gold FXR in my garage.
Right.
And now, so I think that the kicker to building sick bikes for me, I have to do it in the garage. When I do it in the shop, it just doesn't work that well.
I mean, if you're a painter, it's a little different. You're not doing service work. I mean, you're not taking oil changes away from the guys in town.
I used to do that stuff. I used to do a lot of that stuff. I used to do a lot of the accessories, but I didn't do it out of the garage. I did it when I had my big shop. But I realized, okay, it's hard to find someone to do this shit at a quality level, and
that's a different thing.
Yeah, it's
if the guy that owns the shop near you is an asshole.
No. It's hard for me. Like I never had issues with shops around me, but like when I was doing, I was selling dirty air kits out the asshole. I was selling MRI center stands to everybody, bars and all this. I had those niche based products that people liked in the big wheel scene, and I sold those things because I had relationships.
Did you sell them at retail?
Always, you know. I sold them at because the thing is, if you're making retail, you can cut them on labor. Like, I'm not going to do labor for free, but you can help them out on labor because you're also making on the part. But at the same time, like I would still, like the average rate for doing some handlebars was like $1,100 on some some older wiring harness. Yeah. With some Yaffes. Yeah. And I charged about that much. That's what the dealerships charged, and I was like, still the same amount of work, dude.
Yeah, it's just we're charging less on.
But see, I did the things that the dealerships weren't doing. The dealerships weren't really putting on dirty air ride kits. They would put on like a super expensive platinum air ride kit from Drag that was like $2,700. You know what I mean? Like they would do that stuff, but Dirty Air was that more grassroots kind of company. They were making air ride kits that you can get for $500.
They're good. They're a great company.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm good friends with both Al and fucking.
I only know Al. I've never met him in person. The guy has been a godsend for me over the last 5 years and helped me out immensely. And
he's supposed to be sending me a new Softail to paint an old shovel one.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it. Cool. I mean, they're making all their own product. They've moved into a new facility. They've got CAD and CNC machines, and I like seeing that happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? Guess how many fucking catalogs he's in? Exactly 0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're good. Dude, when my air ride shocks blew, both me and my buddy Brad overnighted them to fucking this shit happened in the middle of the desert on the way to Vegas. Mm-hmm. He overnighted shocks to TOL shop, Sean, and we put them on the next day.
Sean's a good example of somebody that
doesn't ride bikes.
No, I don't know if he rides.
No, he doesn't ride. He used to fuck with me the most because me and Sean have got a great long relationship, and he's like big brother to me, I guess you'd say. But he knows how I feel about when I was going real hard on Instagram back in the day, like in 2016, on all the dudes that rode baggers but did nothing but trailer everywhere.
Right.
He would be the one that would call me out and text me at 4 a.m. when I was super drunk talking shit. Calm down, Jace. I know you're fucking Jax Teller and all that shit because. Just the riding and all that shit. Yeah. But Sean's always fucked with me.
Sean's the guy that the average person off the street doesn't know.
Yeah.
But he's the fucking, to me, he's up there with, I've got a immense amount of respect for him because he plays to the back of the room.
Yeah.
He helps so many there's a lot of people that can't do their fucking job if Sean doesn't do his. And that's the end of the fucking, it is what it is. There's things that he does at his company that if he doesn't do it, then people aren't working.
Yeah.
And that's how that's somebody that
he was one of the, like when he first started TOL, he was one of the first dudes that really came on the market and brought a longer bag to the game. You know what I mean? Before that, you had Ness had the down and outs.
Yeah.
Was the only thing. And I think it was very like they hadn't really came out with it yet. And then you had your
Bad Dad, right?
Bad Dad and Top Shop had the 4-inch stretch, but nobody really came out with anything past 4 inches. So when Sean came out with TOL, it was it was pretty. He was one of the first ones to bring the big fucking bags to the game.
Right.
And at the time, man, like that shit was kind of cool. You know what I mean?
But he's not running around like Shope fucking telling everybody, that look at me. I mean, and that's I don't begrudge Shope for doing that. That's what he does. But
the funny thing about a lot of people's perceptions on shops and people in the industry is if you only knew how many people sold weed to get to the big badass shop. You know what I mean?
Well,
which is fine. It's all cool.
I don't.
I'm not a hater because now that I'm off probation, I smoke a little weed sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing is that like you look at like I have another respect for those guys that do it hard, grind from nothing, like no trust fund, no daddy, like I get it. You have a decent you have a decent job and you start doing it on the side and you do it right and you be respectful like you said and go around and like shake hands, but I respect that a lot more than not that I don't respect the people that do it the other way, not that I don't. I just like, man, that's cool, man, congratulations, you did it the hard way.
Yeah, there's a badge of honor in there.
Yeah, and that's what I'll say is like, dude, I love a lot. Dude, my boy Steve from up there in NorCal, when he had Trendsetters, he had a fucking like neighborhood of grow houses that funded Trendsetters, and he's cool about that. Like he's like, yeah, dude, we fucking was growing weed out the asshole, but we also spent it on building bikes and we had fun and doing it, and that was cool, and I respect that as well. But you got those people, that a lot of people started off like that, and
there's a lot of people that came out in the 2004s, 2005s that just borrowed shitloads of money from their house or whatever. But those guys aren't here. How many of those guys are still here?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And that's the one thing that I've seen and I now notice about this industry is that it's not about being the one with the sting right now. It's about being the consistent one that's going to be here and growing and like rising and falling with the trends and re-inspiring yourself as a bike shop to stay interested in it.
And there's a certain amount of respect that I give to somebody who stays in their lane.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that from like, hey, stay in your lane. I mean that from like, look, this is the lane I'm going to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay here. And you know what? Eventually, bell bottoms are going to come back around, and I'm still going to have bell bottoms on.
Well, yeah. So you got a guy that's doing billet chopper shit, and then every once in a while, like it's like a peak. Mm-hmm. Like every once in a while, billet chopper shit gets real cool again, or you get a couple builds out of it. And the shit's cool to me still now, but but there's also there's always that other side to it, right? There's that devil's advocate. I don't necessarily fault the guy for like seeing somebody else do something and him be inspired to want to try to do some shit. You know what I mean?
Never. I don't ever. I mean, that's how you kill it. That's the fastest way to kill innovation.
Yeah.
Is to remove the possibility of the raw materials or the ability, I don't know, kick a man while he's down or before he gets started. That's not cool. Who wants to do that? But I mean, there's plenty of opportunity for everybody. There's plenty, but you have to be respectful about how you do it.
I think the other thing that I think shops should do a lot more of or take more initiative, especially with the climate of what we were talking about earlier with the vacuum of magazines and these media outlets being gone. The one thing I will say is that I've never seen a lot from really just thinking about the bagger world that I came from. I never saw a lot of people putting back into that. You'd see charity shit all the time. Like, oh, we're giving back to the bullied kids. We're giving back to the the transgender, whatever the fuck they're into, right?
Right.
But what are they doing for the motorcycle scene?
That's what I was talking about when this industry used to be big enough to support itself from the inside. Mm-hmm. So, you could be a niche guy. You could be a product manufacturer. You could be somebody who those guys that's what they cared about. Mm-hmm. And how you give back to what you're doing is by participating in the events appropriately and substantively and actually participating, not showing up to an audio contest and being pissed that the only bike that you brought has a dead battery and acting like a fucking baby about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even give a shit about that. But at the same time, I don't forgive that behavior. I was fucking 12 once too. I'm a grown ass fucking man.
Well, I'm about to paint 2 bikes for 2 really big stereo shops here in Texas, 2 big wheel baggers, and I'm only doing it because I wanted to, I want to get paid. So, well, I'm trying to infuse money back into this operation, but it's still cool. It's like a new canvas, and I've been doing things on helmets and dynas and stuff now, and I want to see if I can translate this into some bigger scale paint jobs. So there's an excitement factor for it, but but I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I was looking at just randomly scrolling down Instagram, and I still follow a lot of the bagger companies that I know. And this one bagger had like just this row of speakers down the top of the saddlebags, down the back of the saddlebags, on the fairing, had some on the tank.
Of course it's going to be loud.
Yeah, it's loud. It's this. It's
looks like nuts on a goose.
I don't see, or without being subjective to it, to where it's like those guys are gay. You know what I mean? It's like I don't see the connection to a motorcycle there.
Thank you. And that was my thing. Do you guys want another beer?
Fuck yeah. Especially if that's your money.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
Budget, Jace. But yeah, so I look at those baggers and I see all these stereos. I'm like, I had a fucking big stereo on my bagger, but I had Focals, and I was proud of how much money I spent on it. But I also wasn't the dude that was like pulling into the fucking parking lot and was like
over loud. And
I hated that. I felt so nerdy doing that. It goes back to what I was saying about like back in the day when I realized that I never wanted to be a part of gimmick shit, right?
Yeah.
So it was me. I was on my sport bike. The other dude, a local shop here in town, was on his sport bike as well. And you're gonna make more noise to go shut the door slightly.
I didn't mean to, but I didn't want the door slammed.
But we were sitting at that light, and this dude had air ride and like a nitrous purge and LEDs on his like sport bike with a 240 kit, and he's literally playing with all that shit at a light. Yeah, and he's looking in the cars like trying to make eye contact with somebody. It's like it was the saddest thing I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like in some aspects it is. Like riding can give you so much if you just ride it.
Just be in the moment.
Just be in the moment, live it. Like, yes, there's definitely a cool feeling when you got a sick bike and you stop in the gas station and everybody and their fucking mom walks out.
And you're getting a little bit of shine.
I like the purple one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, fuck, mine's purple. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's all that. It's dope. That's what motorcycling is in a sense. Like, yeah, get that fucking, hell yeah. I'm glad I spent $10 grand on this paint job to say, so this redneck chick in fucking Alsops in West Texas could be like, I like the purple one. You know what I mean? No matter what, it's still like, fuck yeah, it's better than y'all's fags. You know what I mean?
Later, nerds.
Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna go take this girl home, or trailer, or whatever the fuck it is. But the thing is, it's like there's aspects to it that I agree with. It's like, fuck yeah, man. It's like it feels good, and that's what it's all supposed to be, is feel good. I guess it feels good to have a fucking loud ass stereo system. I don't know. I
like
guess
a loud ass motor.
Yeah, I want to hear some. Oh man, like Garley was talking, like when you turn on something with like a 124 or a 131 in a shop, you can feel the tables vibrating. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's what occurs there with that is I hate the word. I've overused the word visceral, but it is very visceral.
What does that mean?
Visceral means it invokes like an actual emotion in what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Like when something happens, you're like, oh, fuck, like
cool. I'm gonna start using that one.
There you go. Your economy of words just went up.
What does economy mean?
Okay. What did you want to ask me about West Coast choppers?
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that whole chopper dogs thing. So I think that's cool as shit, because that's kind of what a lot of us do nowadays with just like Google Chat, Google Hangouts, and things like that.
I don't do any of that stuff, but I don't know about Google Chat.
Well, so explain, what Chopper Dogs was, especially to you and your closest friends now, right?
Yeah, I mean, so Chopper Dogs was how I came to know about Chopper Dogs was I can remember going the first time I was selling cars, and a guy named Tom Mallard worked. He was the finance director. He came in. He's like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And he was like, Jesse James and West Coast Choppers, and the bikes are $60,000. And he was just it was Motorcycle Mania 1. Yeah. And he came in, he was telling me about it, and I'm like, no. So I went to the computer and typed in westcoastchoppers.com. Website comes up, the regular West Coast Choppers website's there. And then it was like, in the lower corner, something was like, exclusive content or something. So I click on it. It was like $20 a month or $25 a month. And you got to log in and you could go to this community. And I'm like, I'm not fucking paying 20 or $25 a month to belong to. I didn't know what the internet was back then. I mean, I didn't use it for anything. Well, then fast forward a couple years, and I had the shop, and my business partner Evan was on Chopper Dogs at work. He's like, check this out. He's like, this is, I'm a member here on this board, yada yada yada. It's $25 a month, but here's my login. Use my login. So I would just he never posted. So I would look at, there was all these different areas. Remember the old boards where like the forums was they have one called Talk Shit on the West Coast.
So they'll have a forum, and then you go into that forum, and then
there's these subcategories. Yeah. So there's like Talk Shit. There was Tech Help. There was Just Picks or something like that. Well, so I get on there and I find there's all these characters on there. These people, they all have screen names, and there's like a hierarchy that I was kind of learning that there was this, but I couldn't post anything because I was using someone else's login. So he eventually quit doing it. So I was already on it. So I said, fuck it. I'll pay the $20 or $25 a month or whatever it was. So I go on there, create my login, all that stuff, find out what the hierarchy is of the whole deal. Thank you, dude.
Hell yeah.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
I'm a scholar.
Shout out to Lockjaw for getting us another round of beverages. We'll have to get him. We'll get you beverages for the rest of the night, buddy. I know you feel like you're not being included in here, but so anyway, so I'm learning that there's this kind of this hierarchy on the site. There was all these little members, and then there was people that were members that were what do they call it? Not a modulator, but a moderators.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you have to, your first post goes here, and so I do all that, and so that kind of starts.
I'm Jason.
Yeah,
I like choppers.
Yeah, exactly. So we do, and it was basically like that. You know, I'm in Detroit, Michigan, blah blah blah. I own this company, whatever. So people start kind of, you know, you're commenting on things, and people are giving you shit for commenting on it, and then you're like kind of backing away, and there was all these people on this board. Well, that was early 07. So about mid 07, they're going to have that No Love Party. They announced the No Love Party that was going to be, I don't remember what number it was, but it was in 2007. So I get a DM from this person on the board called Noodles. And Noodles was one of Jesse's pit bulls. And Noodles was a screen name for one of the main moderators. It was this woman.
So what's Jesse's pit bulls? What is that? Like they're bouncers or something?
No, his pit bulls, like he literally, his dog, he had Cisco, Noodles, Rudy.
So this dude was just weird.
Jesse?
No, this dude that named himself after Jesse's dog.
What Jesse did was he created these profiles. The Noodles profile was the main moderator, and then he assigned somebody that was on that that board. That was her screen name.
That's some nerdy shit, man.
It was nerded out heavy. And so
that's not biker at all. But
so we're all on this thing, and we ended up. I mean, there was lots of hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and the amount of hours that people spend on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. I was on my laptop at home all night long, talking to these people online.
Yeah,
it was the first time I had ever
That was
experienced
the world, though. That was the world.
Exactly.
I was a part of many of those type of things back.
So
in the day.
I got invited to go to. Noodles sends me this DM. Hey, are you coming to the No Love Party? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, so figure out we're gonna go. I drive to No Love. I meet, you know, put a face to all these people that I had met online, and so now we're kind of like friends. You know, just like you and I have, and we're kind of friends and stuff. And then I meet Mike and Joe, who are from England. 6 months later, they come and stay at our house. 6 months after that, we go to No Love again. Yeah. And now I know all these people even more. And so it just got to a point to where I actually had climbed through the hierarchy through there, having gone to a couple of NLPs and being more than willing to help out a lot of people on the board with tech information and parts and stuff like that. Dude, I sold tons of motors, tons of transmissions, tons of primaries. Did you ever see the rusted out high neck Frisco FXR that was built about 7 or 8 years ago?
I've seen pictures of it circulating.
Dude, that Japan went bananas for that bike. That was the last frame out of the Chopper Guys factory before they closed down. And Japan went bonkers over that bike. Well, I sold that guy everything on that bike except for the frame. In the tank. The tank he bought off a guy named Solus. Solus Metal Shaping. I've heard you talk about him a couple of times. That dude is
sick
as fuck.
He built like some car that was really sick.
He builds hand hammered AC Cobras. That guy is awesome. He came here when he was 18 from Lithuania with not a penny in his pocket as an immigrant, and didn't know how to do that yet. Moved to Chicago, found somebody to teach him.
Fucking balling.
The dude is amazing. But so it was just, it ended up being a community, and now that's how I know all the Frisco guys that I hang out with at all the events and talk to quite frequently. Dan Pena that owns Chongo Blanco, Sturgis Special, the Coors bike. I mean, he's got 14 West Coast choppers. Cody was the 6th guy to join that Chopper Dog site. Yeah. He and I never communicated through that. He sent me a DM like 7 or 8 years ago through Facebook. That's how I met Cody. So But it's
so weird. It's like if we would have done this podcast in like 2007, instead of us like, man, social media, we'd be like, man, chat rooms, because that was kind of social media then. You know, I remember like in 2002, I got on a street racing one,
right,
and that's what got me into street racing and doing all the shit I did then. And then, you know, naturally I'm like, oh, well, I get into bikes, and it was easy to find a sport bike related one. So back in the day, it was cool because it was just like rides and, you know, basic nerd motorcycle talk, you know, of the type of bikes you're on. And then that was all kind of before MySpace came out, and then Facebook came out, and then the chat room thing just kind of died. It turned into a chat room on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook killed it. MySpace didn't have that capability, because I remember we all got MySpace pages and communicated on dumb shit through that. But I mean, dude, I mean to tell you that that Chopper Dogs thing is weird as it sounds and as odd as it sounds, it was a life changer for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, some of the best friends that I have in the whole world, I met through that. I can't marginalize
listening
that.
to you talk about it, it's the same concept as what this is. It's meeting people online in some form or fashion, whether it's back pages or this, you know.
Well, I mean, you can actually find somebody who has something in common with you. So it doesn't matter that a bunch of guys that ride Dynas don't live by me.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of friends that ride Dynas, and I ride a Dyna. So
it's like that guy that goes to high school. That's like everybody's fucking was like, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, yeah, she's super hot too. It's kind of like your friends, but it's like your friends are all from like Dallas, and you're
dude, he's got a girlfriend lives up in fucking Niagara Falls. You ever? What is it? The Breakfast Club? Because Brian here is a cherry. I'm not a cherry. Brian, you're a cherry. You said you were a cherry. You said No, I've laid lots of girls. You ever lay anybody around here? I have a girlfriend. She lives in Niagara Falls.
But that's the thing. It's like it's kind of the circle. It's the same shit. It's just that we're doing the same methods of meeting people and expanding our friends as we all get older. We're just using the tools at hand now, which is Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, podcasting. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's fun. I think I've told you this before. I feel like I know Mark.
Yeah.
I feel like if I met Mark, I could go up to Mark and have a conversation about something that's happened to him in the past and him not be weirded out by it. But if I had never met Mark and never heard Mark and walked up and said, hey, man, so what, you went to MMI and you were in Arizona and he'd be like, what? You fucking, who are you? You know what I mean? But he puts it out there for public consumption. And I mean, I feel like and it kind of gives you like a roadmap of how to communicate with people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because I've heard you pissed, I've heard you sad, I've heard you happy. You know what I mean? Through all the podcasting that you've done. You know?
Dude, I can't wait to like cry on one. That's gonna be so sick.
You haven't cried on a podcast?
Not yet, man.
I don't think I've cried on a podcast.
I just want to get in there and just be like The Wedding Singer whenever it didn't work out, and he's just like singing. You know what I mean?
Movie of all time.
We fuck with Jesse all the time because Jesse's like seen nothing from the 90s movies wise. He's seen like the randomest shit. But I'm like, dude, you seen The Wedding Singer? What's that? Fuck off, dude.
Dude, if you haven't seen The Wedding Singer,
he hasn't.
That's the greatest movie ever.
Pretty much all Adam Sandler movies from the 90s, he has no idea. Happy Gilmore.
Hey, you know what? Breakfast? I want to kiss you all. When he's like,
he just doesn't have any of it. He just watched a few stoner movies. He's never really been into smoking or anything like that, but he watched a few stoner movies, and then he got artsy nerdy a couple years ago when he started doing music, and now he's just like...
He needs to get off the gluten because he's going to be a heavy kid if he doesn't fucking back off.
I can't wait. I cannot wait till he gets fat as fuck. You know what I mean? Because here's the deal.
I call him Fat Jacks. Like every time I see him, I'm like, it's Fat Jacks.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna start calling him that. So I did not, dude. I was like 180 pounds till I was 28. Right?
Yeah.
I'm 36 now, so I've only got 8 years. Right? 8 years into this like dad bod I got going on, right? and I see Jesse, and Jesse, like I was 180 pounds at 28, drinking fucking Dr. Peppers and eating fucking Chicken Express every day. You know what I mean? So it's like
he's pushing maximum density.
Yeah, he's already hit 200 pounds here and there, but he kind of fluctuates around 180. And he's 23. I'm like, dude,
how tall is he?
He's like shorter than me.
Oh, dude, he's gonna be a fat guy.
Dude, he's so. I can't wait. I can't, because he's so fucking cute as a little boy and shit. So he like gets all these girls, and I'm like, dude, you need to start
better
like
fucking lock one down.
Yeah, you
now,
better lock
son.
one down. You're gonna be a fat fuck in a couple years.
Put on the train on them chicken fingers.
I'm gonna be like, hey, dude. And I can't wait too, because I'm gonna like get super determined. I'm gonna go get a 6-pack, just start working out everywhere, and be like, hey, dude, remember when I was fat?
Probably not gonna happen. You understand that, right?
Dude, I'm super determined.
Dude, you should just do yoga.
I want to, man. That shit, after listening to Joe Rogan talk about it, I'm like, I don't know, man. I want to do a lot of shit. I got it. I'm realizing the most from guys I know like you and my other buddy that's in our little group, James, he's a banker. I have so much respect for certain people that are super disciplined. I never realized.
You don't think I'm disciplined, do you?
You have your shit together. That's discipline.
Oh my God! Listen, dude, you can't dazzle with your brilliance, baffle him with your bullshit. I don't know if my shit together, and I don't know. I've never thought.
There's levels of having your shit together, and it's above mine. So that's
okay. All right. So if we're looking at a fucking like Red Dead Redemption fucking level of shit, I might have my shit together more than you. Listen, dude. I think I operate in a modicum of chaos and a small amount of discipline. Like I make my fucking bed every morning when I get up. I made my bed in the hotel.
Yeah, that's gay, dude. I don't know why you do that.
I just fucking do it.
You heard it on a podcast, huh?
No, I've always made my bed.
When I was single, I made my bed. You know what I mean? When I was single, I did that shit. I also did everything in the house, and it was super easy because when you're a single guy, everything that you do is just like it's motions. It's, you know, I'm a clean guy. My shop is clean all the time, right? But then
is my shop clean? Oh fuck, this guy over here.
But then you get in a relationship. This is exactly what happened to me. My wife comes on. She's living with me, and I'm doing what I always did: washing dishes, making dinner, putting my clothes in the washing machine. I'll do it. Don't worry. Go play your game. Fuck it. I play my game. And after 4 fucking years, guess what I'm doing when you need me to do the shit now? Play my fucking game. You done took that part out of me, babe. I don't have it anymore, you know?
I do my own laundry.
I don't.
I have a shirt folder. I have a fucking shirt folder. When I swear to God, with a fucking fold it up. I'm a little OCD about that shit. I guess I have my shit together.
Yeah,
but,
you're determined.
I don't know, dude. I
would say it's not determined. It's discipline. You have the discipline. Like me, I'll fucking pull my shirt out of the fucking washing machine after it's been in there for 2 days. I don't care.
Fuck no. This dude was giving me a ration of shit yesterday because before I came here, I had to go to the. I used to get my hair done.
Dude, when I was a kid, this was the daily routine. I woke up when I was a kid, 1996. I used to walk to fucking junior high. Right? I'd wake up. I put on the Tupac album, the double album, All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, All Eyes on Me.
I'd iron my shit with fucking Stay Flow, and it would be creased fuck out. Mm-hmm. Because the harder you're creased, the harder you are, motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's how it was in my school. And so we did that, and that was my everyday. I look at that like that's discipline. I woke up every morning, and I fucking was on it.
You let it go.
Yeah. Because I got pussy, and I didn't have to do it anymore.
Oh, man.
Dude, it's crazy how disciplined a man is when he needs pussy and he has to work for it.
Well, sometimes it's not the kill, it's the thrill of the chase.
Well, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to find out other ways to motivate me to do things like that. But, you know, when I was courting my wife, is that the word? I don't fucking know. When I was trying to meet her and make her like me. Yeah, peacocking. Yeah, I did all those things. I had my shit together. I wanted to look like the specimen that's a good choice, but just like,
I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I couldn't get laid in a gay lumber camp when I was a fucking kid, dude. I was fucking 130 pounds, fucking bad haircut, gangly as fuck. And I've been with my wife since I was 18. So I told her a couple years ago, I'm like, look, man, I'm getting older. I need to associate myself with people who make good choices.
Yeah.
You've spent the last 20-some years with me. You got to go because you're making some bad fucking choices here. Look at this.
Yeah. I don't know. That's got to be the hardest thing in the world to do.
What's that? Like stay with someone that long? It is. I'm going to tell you that fucking being married is, but through this whole business, I've never been willing to leverage my marriage to save my business.
Oh yeah.
Well, you say it, oh yeah, but I know a lot of people that are more successful than me in this business, arguably, and even not arguably, that weren't willing to not do that.
Yeah.
I want it all. I can't, money doesn't get me up. Money doesn't I don't give a fuck about money. Yeah. I really don't. No, but hear me out. It's not a motivator for me.
Yeah.
Not losing my shit's a motivator, and I need money to not lose my shit. But money doesn't, when I sold cars, I don't know if I told you this or not, but when I sold cars, I had a month where I hit bonus. I sold 23 cars. I made $12,800 and some odd dollars in 1 month. Okay.
You spent it all on PCP.
No. So when I got my check, my take home was $72.87. So in 1 month, I paid almost $5,000 in taxes.
Yeah.
In 1 month, I paid almost $5,000 in taxes. And I can remember sitting in my truck looking at that fucking check for $72.87 take home for 1 month's worth of wages. And I thought, this is not fucking worth it, man. This isn't, fuck this. This is bullshit. And I went to the fucking, you know what I did? I went to the credit union. I remember sliding that bitch through that little half moon shaped silver tray, right? Under the bulletproof glass, like fucking, put that in there for me if you don't mind. Give me $100. And I went to the record store and I bought fucking a ZZ Top CD with the song I Just Got Paid. And to me, that's the lesson in what you do is I didn't care. I didn't give a shit about what I was doing. I give a shit about what I do now. So I do it till I have no energy left in my body and everything's fine.
I don't know why I do whatever the fuck I do. I haven't figured that out. I do know that the rent's due, and I like to drink beer, and I like having a 2019 Road Glide.
I like to party.
I like my Jesus to party.
Dude.
I just like
we got 15 minutes until we got to go to the fucking shuttle for dinner, but I want to continue this conversation either into these microphones or not at some point, but if it was fucking easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Having a motorcycle shop for whatever capacity it is, yours is a motorcycle shop, you do different shit than I do. It's not
we
easy,
make dreams
man.
come true.
We do, but we are.
No, only me.
You make you're the only one that makes dreams come true. But you got guys like Adam. You got guys, you got Mark at Texas Performance. You got Cody over in Abilene who doesn't do it full time, but he's the king of Abilene when it comes to motorcycles.
Yeah, I can't wait to party with him,
dude.
Can he drink? Can he fucking drink,
dude? Yes.
All right.
Listen, there's a couple of guys. My rule, my 5 guys rule, right? Cody, I would take a bullet right in the fucking forehead for that guy.
Yeah.
Because I know he would do it for me without even fucking...
Yeah, but you go first.
He wouldn't even have to ask. No one even have to ask him. Cody can get down, dude. I have been blessed with an amazing group of people that help me get through life.
Dude, that's what I got, man. I got a plethora of friends and people and friends waiting to be friends.
That's a good word.
Yeah, I think I got that from you or something. I don't know. But I got a lot of people that I really like. And then, I have a lot of people like my brother and his friends that kind of come to us. So it's just it's a cesspool of good people. You know what I mean?
A cesspool. Well, if I can say, because I know we've got to wrap up so we can go to dinner, but I didn't know how this was going to go.
Neither did I.
I didn't know if, we've known of each other for a couple years. We've communicated back and forth on a semi-regular basis. You don't always text back when I text you, but I just attribute that to you being
always interrupting me while I'm on Pornhub. Dude.
I'm sure. I just attribute that to you're more busy than what I am. But no, I appreciate this, and I think this is a good thing, and I appreciate you doing what you do with the podcast so that it inspires me to keep going and doing what I'm doing, and keep fucking ripping on people for sitting in trucks and put their bikes in trailers, and I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, man. But yeah, that's cool. You know, like this, it's all good, man. We're all just stupid. You see my post, the meme they made of me that I posted on Instagram? My buddies, they took a picture of me at the Easy Rider show, and it's got that picture of me holding up the cup, and it says, "You're all gay, change my mind."
Oh, I did see that. That was very funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
No. Yes, that was fantastic. Yeah.
I like.
Hey, you look really slim in that picture for some reason.
I know how to take pictures of me slim, dude.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah,
your neck jowls.
Yeah, you just you put it out like that. You sit at a little angle, and then I know how to fucking work the camera. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is. So all right, cool. So we're wrapping this up and. Good times, man.
Hey, man, check out the Hell on Wheels Garage Wheel podcast.
real quick though. You didn't say shit about the fucking show.
Okay, so real quick. So just because there's not for a couple of years, I've looked and tried to search to find a way to put an indoor motorcycle show in the Florida region, and there isn't one. I haven't been able to find one. You know, there's a lot of really good motorcycle shows in the wintertime because it's not really winter in Florida, and then there's Daytona Bike Week. But please check out what is the Instagram on that? I think is CF Wheels of Steel on Instagram.
That's the most chopper fucking name you could ever name that thing.
The CF Wheels of Steel. Well, we're putting together what I think is going to be a fantastic show. I've taken all of the things I've been to over the course of the last 15 years, going to motorcycle shows and trying to make things cool. We're trying to build an indoor show in June. So it's a rain or shine deal because we talked earlier it's going to rain every fucking day. But we want to do, I hate to call it this, but it's kind of an Easy Rider style show, but it's going to be in Florida in the summertime. So it's going to be in an air-conditioned building. We've got a 24,000 square foot facility in downtown Lakeland. It's called the RP Funding Center. If you go to my page, Speed Metal Built on Instagram, there's some information about it. But we're looking for vendors. We're looking for people to show off their motorcycles. But I'm totally jacked about it. We've got a lot of money invested in this. Mm-hmm. Not my money, and all of 100% of the profits of this show are going to go to benefit the Polk County Early Learning Coalition, which provides free VPK and which is voluntary pre-kindergarten and early education for students in Central Florida. So it's kind of cool, me being a former school teacher.
Earlier nerds.
Earlier nerds, yes. We're trying to get some early education.
Yeah,
early intervention is the best intervention. So studies have shown that the earlier we get kids kind of on the path to success educationally and academically, the better the outcome, and less chance of them being ending up in an unfavorable situation.
So that's cool, and it's also cool that I see you putting back into the industry. You're not just here to take money and take customers. You're trying to build something.
No, we're trying to make this a signature event that hopefully guys like yourself, guys like Mark at Texas Performance, we're trying to get, I'd like to get Jeff Holt involved. I mean, I think that the vacuum that we talked about, there's not something like this in the southeastern United States.
There really isn't.
Look at the Easy Rider tour.
Dude, we haven't had it forever. I was like, really? They're coming back? So it was a big thing for us to get it back. But y'all have never had it, really.
We've never had it.
Yeah.
So
the closest one you got is fucking Charlotte,
North Carolina, right? So that's 2 states away. There's nothing in Georgia. There's something in Tennessee at some point in time.
And Georgia has a good movement going on with, especially our little performance motorcycle scene with Pop's Garage and some other cats out there. So I see it growing good as well.
Here's the deal. Here's what I think. This is just a prediction. And I'm probably there's no intuitiveness in this. It's just that I don't think the Dyna market is going to grow exponentially like the bagger market on the performance side of things is going to be.
Yeah,
I really feel like that.
Well, cool. Well, shit, it's awesome you're doing it, and thank you for coming out to Dallas and hanging out. And you motherfuckers check that shit out, dude. Cool.
Peace.
Hope you enjoyed that very lighthearted good time I had with Jason. He's a good friend, man, and he's funny as fuck. And I don't think we really got to capture how funny that dude is. Weird, right? Anyway, had a good time with him, man. Thank you, Jace, for coming out to Texas, and I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, and I hope you guys get a chance to check out some of our sponsors like D&D Exhaust. You know, you can catch him on Instagram at DND Exhaust and on the website at dndexhaust.com, as well as phone in your orders at 844-DND Pipe. Check them out. Put that Fast Life, one word, at the end of those purchases and save you a little bit of cash, player. I also want to thank Texas Performance MC. You can catch him on all that good stuff like MC.com and TexasPerformanceMC.com, as well as on his Instagram. I also want to thank PaintHuffer.com. You can check out all the flakes and stuff, place orders, and have a good time dousing metal flake all over you if that's what you want to do with it. You know, whatever you're into, right? Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram. Check out a lot of talented artists across the world. Also, thank you to MJK Performance Parts. You can catch them online at MJK Performance Parts, as well as on Instagram. Same thing I just said. MJK Bagger Parts, if you want to check out their new bagger line of some stuff coming out very soon. So check them out. Check us out. Check out these bars we're going to be giving away. 4130 Chassis Works. Check them out on Instagram. Also, don't forget to check our website, fastlifegarage.com. You can catch that link to the Patreon. You can also catch a link to our Instagram, which is The Fast Life Garage. And our podcast Instagram is The Fast Life Podcast. Yeah, we're fucking everywhere, man. Everywhere. It's fucking insane. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend. I hope we'll catch you again with another podcast. And you guys just, keep rocking on. Have a good one.